45 or 2024, etc.
May I proceed, Lordship? I'll start my arguments on the petition, Constitution Petition 46 of 2025, through which enforcement of an order by a committee constituted under Section 2.
The office objection to
that petition is competent for this court, this bench. Objection.
There are certain office objection raised by the office.
My impression is that those objections were probably removed and petition is numbered.
It is attached with your paper book.
وہ ہوتا ہے نا کہ objection ساتھ لگا دے کیونکہ کہا بھی اس دن آپ کو کورٹ میں یہی تھا.
At the time of hearing the above mentioned this para 2 of the order, may I read? Three objection.
Order دیکھیں شروع میں جو order
It has been numbered,
Yes,
Lordship.
I think yes, you're right.
It has been numbered. May I read para 2 of the order?
Number lag gaya, you are right.
Yeah.
46 of 2025.
اسٹیٹ کارڈر بتا دیجیے
شروع میں پہلے دوسری ڈیٹ میں order.
ان کی اپلیکیشن تو نکالے نا جو
Lordship, may I read para 2?
two of the order.
Your Lordship. At the time of hearing above mentioned Constitution petition, Ms. Shahid Jamil Khan, the AC, appeared and stated that he has also filed a petition under Article 184(3) of the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan 1973, the Constitution, which is a matter connected with these petitions. Office has raised the objection with regard to maintainability of his petition under Article 183 of the Constitution, and he has filed civil miscellaneous appeal against the order of the registrar. Prays that record be called from office and his case be heard together with the instant CPs. We have called the record of the said case. CM appeal number 83 of 2024 was filed by Mustafa Nawaz Khokar through Shahid Jamil Khan ASC. CM appeal stand disposed of with the direction to the office to number the CP and fix for hearing today. The office objection will be decided by the court after hearing the learned counsel for the petition on the next date of hearing.
you see you have not filed any separate application. This is only CP before us.
Lordship,
You have not filed
there
any
is an
document.
application, Lordship, that has been filed in CP 57. CP 57 that has not been numbered. Salahuddin
in this
ASC is
CP
co-counsel in 57.
You're right
He has
that-
filed the petition that has not been numbered yet.
has been
سن لیا
numbered.
کرنا سوال سن لیں.
You're right that 47 CP number 46 is against the amendment. You have not filed any
It's not
application
against the amendment,
separately
Lordship.
for
Lordship,
constituting
it's
the
not
court.
against the amendment. This CP is for enforcement of our order and declaration by this honorable court that the decision dated 31st October 2024
Page 7,
by
the
committee.
prayer clause.
Prayer
Can you read
دیکھیے.
your prayer clause at page
ہم
7?
ابھی یہ آپ کے جو آفس objection ہے نا وہ سن رہے ہیں.
Lordship.
نظر میں یہ رکھیے کہ بجائے اس کے کہ یہ چیمبر میں آپ کی اپیل ہیئرنگ ہوتی
جی جی
ہم
جی
نے یہ کہا کہ باقی
لارڈشپ اس میں تو کہ بڑا آپ نے سیٹل کر دیا ہوا ہے objection یہاں پہ سنے جا سکتے ہیں اور میں اس کو میں آنسر بھی کر سکتا ہوں.
دیکھیے کہ جو آفس objection ہے آپ نے وہ ابھی
اس میں سیٹل لا تو یہ ہے کہ رجسٹرار ہیز نو پار کہ وہ کوئی اس طرح کا آفس آبجیکشن اس میں نے وہ کیس لا بھی مینشن کیا ہے کہ اس کے پاس یہ پار نہیں ہے کہ وہ جوڈیشل اپلیکیشن آف مائنڈ کرے تو
پریئر پڑھیے
لارڈشپ.
سی پی میں.
In the light of foregoing facts circumstances, it is most respectfully prayed that this honorable court may graciously be pleased to declare that decision of committee constituted under section 2 of PAPA directing fixation of pending petition before full court is binding and shall be implemented forthwith. Direct the respondent number 2 and all concerned authorities to immediately fix the pending petition challenging the 26th constitutional amendment before full court in compliance with the committee's decision dated 31st October 2024. Declare that any administrative act or explanation negating or obstructing the implementation of committee's order is without lawful authority and of no legal effect. Pass any other order deemed just and proper in the circumstances, Lord.
یہ آپ کی مین پٹیشن صرف یہ ہے کہ اس کو فل کورٹ کے سامنے لگایا جائے. جو اصل پٹیشن
اس کا کانسیکوینس یہ ہے کہ وہ فل کورٹ کے سامنے لگایا جائے. لارڈ جی لارڈ
سمجھنے کے لیے کر رہا ہوں کویشچن. اور جو مین پٹیشن جس میں آپ 26 کانسٹیٹیوشنل امینڈمنٹ چیلنج کریں وہ علیحدہ ہے.
وہ الگ ہے.
ٹھیک ہے, آپ کہتے ہیں کہ وہ والی پہلے اس کے
میں یہ والا اس کی کاز ہی ڈفرنٹ ہے, اس لیے 184(3) میں آئے ہیں کہ ایک کمیٹی کا فیصلہ ہے جس کو سیٹ اسائڈ نہیں کیا گیا کسی فورم پہ. دس از دی کرکس آف مائی سبمیشنز. تو اس کی فیٹ ڈیسائیڈ ہونی ہے کہ if that is an order under law and that exists, whether that has to be, and this court will examine and decide whether that has to be implemented or not. اس لیے میری شروع میں بھی ریکویسٹ تھی کہ اگر اس کو پہلے سن لیں تو شاید وہ سی ایم ایز میں کچھ چیزیں مزید کلیئر ہو جائیں. وہ آپ مجھے اجازت دیں گے تو میں وہ ساری چیزیں آپ کے سامنے اس کو ڈیٹ وائز میں اس کو کرونالوجی میں اس کو کروں گا, بیکاز دس از این امپورٹنٹ point which is
یہ والا سوال اور پٹیشنز میں بھی ہے. یہ ایک پٹیشن میں نہیں ہے, اس کی پٹیشن علیحدہ, اس لیے ریموو کریں آفس آف ریکارڈ لیٹنگ آرگیو سے فرق نہیں پڑے گی, کیونکہ یہ پوائنٹ اور پٹیشنز میں بھی ہے اور سب نے یہ بحث کی.
فرق کتنا فرق اور
کل احمد نے بھی دیا اس کے ریٹرن آرگیومنٹ میں, اس نے کہا تھا میں نہیں کروں گا کیونکہ اس میں بحث کر رہا ہوں. کل والے نے اس میں اس نے دکھایا بھی ہے. اس میں
جو فرق کتنا ہے کہ باقی اپلیکیشن تھا کہ یہ اپلیکیشن تھا, کوشچن
سیم
پہلے آبجیکشن کی سر کا فیصلہ اسی کا آبجیکشن کا فیصلہ کریں گے پھر
This was his argument. His argument عجیب سا لگا جمال خان منگا پستی ہم اٹھ کے جا رہے ہیں ہمیں کوئی پتہ ہی نہیں رہا کہ چھڑی کیا
جمال کہہ رہے ہیں کہ آفس آبجیکشن ریموو کریں اور پٹیشن سنیں کیونکہ یہ والا سوال باقی پٹیشنس میں بھی ہے کل جو اس نے بحث کی اس نے بھی کی تو آپ اس کا آفس آبجیکشن کیسے
تو وہ کیا کہہ رہے ہیں
باقی لوگوں نے بھی یہ پوائنٹ ریز کیا اسی آرڈر پر رلائی کر رہے ہیں کہ کیسے
How many other petitioners have raised this point in their petitions?
I think probably someone may have raised in his
خیر آپ کی
petition.
پٹیشن میں بھی ہے آپ کی پٹیشن میں بھی ہے دوسری میں بھی ہے آپ کی پٹیشن میں بھی ہے You've all raised the same point of that letter and the decision of the committee.
It's in my main petition.
Right.
Also, I want the separate CMA.
یہ دیکھیں
جمال یہ دیکھو وہ بتا رہے ہیں 4 لوگوں نے سب نے مین پٹیشن میں ڈالا جسٹ ٹو اوائڈ دی کنفیوژن یہ چاروں کہہ رہے ہیں
آخر میں سنیں یہ آصف
نہیں سب کی پٹیشن میں یہ پوائنٹ ہے
تو ہم یہ کہیں گے یہ مینٹینیبل نہیں ہے بٹ ان پٹیشنز میں ہم سن لیں
اسی لیے کہہ رہے ہیں کہ آخری میں سن لیں پہلے سب کو سن لیں فل کوڈ بنانے پہ پھر لاسٹ میں اس کو سن لیں گے تاکہ کمپوزٹ
پھر شاید اس کا آپ کو لاسٹ پہ ہم سنیں گے باقی
میری سبمیشن اس میں بھی ہیں مجھے اجازت یہ دیں اس کا امپیکٹ جو ہے دیٹ از ڈائریکٹلی ریلیٹڈ ٹو
امپریشن یہی تھا کہ آپ کو پہلے بھی ویسے کہا تھا کہ آپ کو آخر میں سنیں
میری لارڈشپ میں نے عرض یہ
واپس
کی
کب آ رہے ہیں آپ کا شیڈول کیا ہے کب جا رہے ہیں کب واپس آ رہے ہیں
جی
آپ کب باہر جا رہے ہیں واپس کب آ رہے ہیں
لارڈشپ میں نے تو 2 نومبر وہاں ہونا ہے بٹ دیٹ از ناٹ نیسسری آئی ہیو آلریڈی سیڈ
واپسی کب ہے
واپسی اس کے کوئی 8-10 دن بعد ہی
اور
ہوگی
10 دن ادروائز بینچ اویلیبل نہیں ہے جب آپ واپس آئیں گے ہم فریش بھی ہوں گے آپ ہم واپس سن لیں گے
لارڈشپ میں تو آج بھی فریش ہوں کچھ مجھے اگر آپ اجازت دیں مجھے آپ اجازت دیں ویسے اگر میں یہاں پہ آ ہی گیا ہوں تو مجھے کسی بھی کیپیسٹی میں اگر آپ اجازت دے دیں تو میں آپ کے بہت سارے کوسچنز جو ابھی تک آپ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ آنسر نہیں ہو رہے تو آئی پرابلی ول بی ایبل ٹو
کوئی سی ایم ہے تو بتائیے
جی سی ایم ہے وہ سی ایم ہے لیکن کوئی منسٹریل ہچ آئی ہے جس کی وجہ سے وہ اس کو وہ ہونا ہے
اگر آپ اس کو سیول اپیل کے بجائے پٹیشن کے ساتھ آپ اپلیکیشن فائل کرتے ہیں
اب کی ہے سی ایم
میں نے مین پٹیشن میں بھی یہ پوائنٹ لیا ہوا ہے پھر میں نے سیپریٹ سی ایم بھی اس پوائنٹ
سیپریٹ سی ایم جتنی بھی ہیں وہ آرگیو ہو رہی ہیں نا ابھی
مجھے پھر اپلیکیشن پہ سن لیں میں اس پٹیشن پہ آرگیو نہیں کرتا
کون سی اپلیکیشن
میں اپلیکیشن میں یہ جو 57 میں اپلیکیشن دی
آپ کہتے ہیں نمبر نہیں لگا اس کے اوپر
لارڈشپ یہ تو منسٹریلی آپ آرڈر کریں گے تو وہ بھی 1 گھنٹے میں لگ کے آ جائے گا وہ تو ایشو نہیں ہے لیکن
اویلیبل ہے اس کو سننے میں ٹائم نہ اس طرح ویسٹ کریں آپ کو اینڈ میں سن لیں گے آئیے بھنڈاری صاحب سی ایم دے دیں
ویسے کچھ کوشچنز تھے اگر مجھے آپ ویسے اجازت دے دیں تو میں آنسر کر دیتا
نہیں ہے
ہوں
ہم آپ کو جانے کی اجازت دے رہے ہیں ہم آپ کو جانے کی اجازت
جانے کی اجازت تھینک یو ویری مچ
آپ کی کون سی سی پی ہے
جی but I should in all fairness point out at the very outset I was requested by Mr. Khalid Javed Khan yesterday who is senior to me because we are following the order of seniority. I think he might be on video link.
ویڈیو لنک پہ تو نہیں سنیں گے ہم یہیں پر ہی سنیں گے یہ
اچھا
ڈیٹ فرسٹ میں بتا دیں
سی ایم بھی ہوگی
جی خالد صاحب تو آپ کو کوئی آبجیکشن تو نہیں ہوگی کہ منڈاری صاحب آرگیومنٹ کریں آپ سے پہلے ٹھیک آپ کر سکتے اجازت نہیں
سی ایم اے نمبر کیا ہے
1 سیکنڈ سر مجھے دے دیں میں تو ادھر my CMA number is CMA number 332 of 2025.
बाकी किताबें ले आइए.
Your Lordship.
एक मिनट जरा सीएम आने दे.
जी.
सीएम
नहीं बस ओके.
तो आप भी यही प्रेयर होगी ना.
मैं फुल कोर्ट की जी, ये फुल कोर्ट की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ.
सीएम आज
Full court 24 judges or 16 judges?
आपके सर मैं मेरा
जरा उसको फॉर्मुलेट कर लें.
जी.
क्या फेयर है कि whether we should order for constitution of full court or full court means 15, 16 और 24 और इसके बाद ये है या वो जो शायद जमील साहब का था कि कोई कमेटी का वो है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट.
जी. मैं बिल्कुल.
कमेटी ने भी तो फुल कोर्ट का ही कहा ना.
कमेटी ने भी फुल
कितने होने चाहिए. मैं फुल कोर्ट का.
सर मैं बिल्कुल ये
ताकि क्लियर हमें.
Yes.
अभी तक बस वो मैं आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आप कोई जरा लॉजिक और कानून की पूरी बात करेंगे.
आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल जी.
utmost काउंसिल बहस के आखिरी उस पे आके कहते जी 26वीं तरमीम को साइड में रख दे और कर दे. It is strange for me.
My lord, I will address that.
ये arguments होंगी मतलब यहाँ.
My lord, I will address that, and in fact, that's the probably the most interesting point in this hearing. What is the status of the 26th Amendment while your lordships are determining this particular issue, whether that has to be taken into account or not? I will address detailed arguments on that because this is not the first time that the court is faced with a situation. It is not. There have been 5 instances, there are 5 judgments of the Supreme Court which deal with this issue, where one constitutional order was substituted or modified by a new constitutional order which was then challenged before the court. And the court has dealt with this issue as to whether the modified or new constitutional order has to be taken into account or not. I will address I will address that. For me, that's the most intellectually challenging point in this case. Baki, for me, I will start off by saying one thing, my lord. In fact, I will first of all, with respect, bow to the observation that my Lord Justice Mandokhel made yesterday, that this issue, this case as a whole on the merits in the main, as well as this CM, the bench and those of us on this side are not rivals. This is a point that your lordship made yesterday. We are all on the same side. Ultimately, your lordships may hold, and that's your lordship's power and prerogative to do, that whatever we have said on this side is wrong, and that the constitutional amendment is valid, and we'll bow to that. But right now, there is a concern being expressed by a lot of people that there is something wrong with it. And before
going to that point, first of all, we have to...
Yes. So starting point, whatever is being submitted, my lord, whatever is being submitted at the bar has to be taken in that spirit, that we are all here because we feel that there is something wrong with this amendment and that it has undermined the institution.
Amendment se pehle was the one to determine who will hear this petition.
मैं उस पे ही आ रहा हूँ, मैं उसी पे आ रहा हूँ, but मैं कह रहा हूँ उस पे भी submissions because overlap कर जाएंगी, because एक concern constantly bench की तरफ से आया है कि there is 191A in the field, and that maybe operates as a bar in the formation or referral of the matter to the full court. That has to be...
Counsel, prior to this, read your prayer
you've sought for adjudication of the main case before a full court of this,
My Lord.
of the Supreme Court. Now define the term full court.
My Lord.
Then come to
Yes.
Article 191.
My Lord, I have been here for more than 2 weeks. I have heard all your Lordship's questions. Allow me to answer them. This is the question that your Lordship has repeatedly posed, and I will answer it. Let me say, for me there are 3 questions that arise.
Answers were divergent. Not the same answer by all the consuls.
My Lord, for me that's reflective of the nature of legal questions. Legal questions are not like mathematical questions. In mathematics, 2 plus 2 will always be 4. But in legal questions have different legal answers. Then there are genuine differences of opinion. Your Lordship held that civilians can be court-martialed under the Constitution. My Lord Justice Mandokhel and Justice Afghan held differently. Both opinions are there in the law, and that's a genuine difference of opinion. So that the same is true for lawyers also. My Lord, but it doesn't matter.
I'm not asking that each lawyer should argue on the same lines of the other lawyer, but said that there is divergence.
My Lord, and there is a reason for the divergence, and I will try and explain that. I will try and explain that. So 3 questions that arise, my Lord. Number 1, whether a full court can be convened, and I agree with a statement made by one of my friends earlier.
थोड़ा सा question rephrase कर लो. देखिए, हम सिर्फ ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि क्या बेंच ख्वाहिशात पे बनेगी या कानून के मुताबिक?
कानून के मुताबिक. Sir, my Lord, I recall a statement made by Justice Shahid Bilal in one of the hearings that my Lord said that I am a man of procedure. My Lord, if I can just modify that, I am a man of precedent. I've been brought up in a common law environment. I operate on the basis of precedent.
By procedure, I meant the procedural law.
Yes, I know.
You know me very well. I've been a trial lawyer.
Yes.
That's why I use the connotation procedure. That is the procedural law.
I know. My Lord, मैं आपकी statement आपकी इजाज़त से थोड़ी सी modify करके अपने पे लगा रहा हूँ कि I am a man of precedent. So whatever I will say is based on precedent. I will show that there is precedent on everything and every question that your Lordships are faced with. And I will try and answer all those questions based on precedent. So the first question is whether a full court can be convened. I agree, full court is never constituted. It exists. It merely has to be convened. So that's the first question. And my answer, which I will elaborate, is that notwithstanding Article 191A, a full court can be convened in this matter, number 1. The second question is, by whom? My Lord, that the answer to that.
आप कहने के ये मैं समझूं कि Supreme Court is there already.
The full court is there.
It is not defined. The full court is not defined in the Constitution, but this is the precedent.
Well, it is defined in Article 176, Chief Justice plus all courts, and that is how it has been applied in precedents, and that principle has then been refined in some cases. I'll come to those. The second question is, who can convene the full court in this case? My Lord, my submission is twofold. Number 1, the decision of the committee constituted under the Practice and Procedure Act of 2023, the decision dated 31st of October is a valid, binding, existing decision and must be implemented. If that is done, then the full court in this context would mean the full court as it existed on 31st of October 2024. That's my primary submission.
Which committee decision?
The Practice and Procedure Committee decision.
Constituted under Section
2 of the Practice and Procedure Act 2023. Well, I will come to the details. Why I am saying it's a valid, binding, existing decision, I will explain that. I'm just formulating my point right now. But in the alternative, in case your Lordships and your Ladyships feel that that decision cannot be enforced or ought not be enforced, then in the alternative, my submission is that the full court should be convened through a judicial order by this honorable bench. So that's question number 2. Question number 3, how many judges should sit on it? Well, again, the answer to this question depends on the answer to question number 2. If this honorable bench is inclined to enforce the decision of the 31st of October 2024, then the judges who were there on that date should sit on the full court. But if this court feels that that decision cannot be enforced, then in the alternative, my submission is
that decision be enforced by this bench.
By this bench. By this bench. And because it's a decision taken by a valid body, it should just be, your Lord.
Can we pass any specific order, or simply we say, since already the matter has been decided by the committee, fixed before the bench, so therefore we cannot take it?
That's procedural flexibility. We are dealing with an Article 184(3) petition. We should not be bogged down by procedural technicalities. Any procedure, if your lordships and your ladyships pass an order, whatever, it's not for me to say how the order will be framed. That's the court's prerogative. But if an order is passed, nobody can defy that order. The ministerial steps, the administrative steps required to implement that order will be taken by the registry. This is what the Supreme Court rules direct. So that's not an issue. But I will show what sort of orders were passed in the past. And there is no set pattern. There were various orders. And I will explain that with reference to case law. So on the third question, how many judges to sit? If the committee decision of 31st October is implemented, is enforced, then all judges who were there on that date will sit. Otherwise, in the alternative, all 24 judges, as they exist today, should sit. With one caveat. With one caveat. I think, and this is something I'll explain at the end also, for the judges who were appointed after the 26th Amendment, and by following the procedure laid down in the 26th Amendment, which is under challenge in these cases, for them it will be extremely awkward to sit in judgment over their own appointment. However, I say there is no legal bar.
Name is the position of the Honorable.
मैं आ रहा हूँ उस पे भी. My Lord, I say there is no legal bar on those judges also sitting. The Akram Sheikh case, PLD 89 Supreme Court, says that they can sit on the bench, even when the question is one of their own appointment. However, as I said, it will be awkward and embarrassing for them to be a part of a decision which concerns their own appointment. Therefore, my suggestion in that case be, drawing on the line that my Lord Justice Mandokhel indicated in the recent contempt judgment, Nazar Abbas, your Lordship invoked the concept of esprit de corps, committee among judges, and your Lordship indicated that maybe matters would not have escalated if, there had been some informal discussion. So maybe the full court can have an informal discussion following the cue that my Lord gave, so to decide whether those judges would want to sit or not. So rather than passing an order that they should sit and then letting them decide whether to recuse or not, maybe that can be preempted by a prior informal discussion. So that's my formulation on the three questions.
And we sit in that bench, we 8.
Well,
8 members of this bench can sit in that full court prior to, which was prior.
Absolutely.
Why? We are, चल हम इसको beneficiary की बात नहीं करते, उस 26th amendment के जरिए हमें एक added responsibility दी गई है.
बिल्कुल दी गई है.
तो जो 6-7 जजेस आए उनको भी हाई कोर्ट से उठाकर एक एडेड रिस्पांसिबिलिटी दी गई, तो उनका और हम में क्या फर्क है?
नहीं, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि फर्क नहीं है. अगर आप कमेटी का डिसीजन जो 31 अक्टूबर का है उसको नहीं इम्प्लीमेंट करते तो फिर कोई इशू नहीं है.
उसमें ये नहीं लिखा कि कौन, उसमें सिंपल लिखा है फुल कोर्ट.
बिल्कुल, मैं तो इसीलिए कह रहा हूँ सर, मेरे नजदीक फिर सेकंड ऑप्शन यही है.
कमेटी के फैसले के ऊपर आर्ग्यू करेंगे या अदर देन?
मैं दोनों पे करूंगा. मैं दोनों पे करूंगा,
क्योंकि फैसला जो कमेटी का है पहले फिर वो कर लीजिए, तो उसकी क्या आउटकम थी, whether that committee was under their vested jurisdiction to pass any such order or not, that is to be seen.
I will make detailed submissions.
Merely saying that a committee has passed the order, it is binding on all, the binding effect has to be seen from the constitution and the law itself.
Sir, मेरी जो अपना structure of arguments है, उसमें I would like to start with the fundamental question, whether the 26th amendment itself can be taken into account at this stage or not. Because that's the hurdle that your Lordship has repeatedly said, and that's understandable. I mean, it's there, it's on the statute book.
Which portion you want to commence? Aap wo shuru kar dijiye na
The first question is, the first issue is whether the full court can be convened in this matter. And my answer is yes, and now I'm going to elaborate on that.
Independently or under the orders of that committee which you are referring to?
Both.
वो तो नहीं है ना, पहले आप दोनों को अलग-अलग बताएंगे.
I can make arguments in the alternative.
Yes.
So my primary argument is based on the committee decision. But if your Lordships were to even to disregard that,
you have two grounds. One
yes,
on the basis of the decision of the committee, and the second ground is that we have power to.
Yes. So those are my arguments in the alternative. My Lord, when I say that the convening of a full court in this matter or in any other matter is not ousted by Article 191A, I say that on two bases. Number one is what I refer to, at least in my notes, your Lordship and your Ladyships may think of a better expression, is the logical or common sense ground. And the second is the interpretative ground. So the first ground is that logic and common sense require that those provisions not be taken into account. But even if your Lordships and your Ladyships take Article 191A,
suspension of those provisions.
Will
that not mean suspension of?
Not at all. If those provisions are to, and that's one reason I did not file an application for suspension with my petition. The operation of a law can't be suspended.
It cannot be suspended.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
You are saying so.
No, I'm not. There is a distinction which your Lordship will appreciate. If I say that those provisions be suspended, then your Lordships can't hear any case. Then your Lordships can't function. Then your Lordships can't hear the super tax case also.
Exactly.
Your Lordships are hearing all the other cases. I appeared before your Lordships in many cases. That's not a question of suspension. I'm not asking for suspension. What I'm saying is that when the question is the validity of those very provisions itself, then in that context, to that extent, those provisions cannot be taken into account. Well, the impugned order, the impugned legislative instrument cannot be its own justification.
You mean to say we can look into these provisions in the light of previous section?
Yes.
Unko maddenazar rakhte hue dekhein whether these are in consonance with the other provision of the Constitution.
ये तो merits की बात है.
No. It is not. And that's, as I said, that's the intellectually most challenging point. The moment your Lordship say, and your Lordship has said that 191A is on the statute book and your Lordships are bound by that. But that's a question of merit. The moment your Lordships feel bound by it...
What you have challenged is the 26th Amendment.
Yes.
So
the moment your Lordships... The moment your Lordship says that while hearing that challenge, your Lordships are bound to give effect to that very provision, where does the challenge go? Then your Lordships have held.
Unless decided otherwise.
No.
It is the
then even when deciding that question, your Lordships will not take into account those very provisions.
If it is done, then if you mean to say that we should ignore Article 191A, under the ambit of Article 191A, this bench has been constituted. So how you can ask us to ignore that but sit in the preview of the same article 191A? We are here under the constitutional mandate of Article 191A as a constitution bench. If we ignore that 191A, as you said, and few other councils have also said that, then there is no issue of constituting the constitution bench. Then we should be treated as a regular bench.
मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ कि आप, and I adopt what Mr. Khaja Ahmad Hussain said yesterday, that at this juncture, your Lordships don't take a view on 191A either way. That is for the one.
We
That
can't
is
sit
for
then.
the
We
full
can't sit
court.
that we should recuse and we should not
No,
hear
no.
this case because
My lord.
we are the Constitution bench under Article 191A, and you say that be as it may, you are the Constitution bench, but ignore 191A and go move and go forward. So this is the difficulty. That is why we are asking for last many dates, and each and every council has been put up this question. How we can ignore
I will
that.
answer. That's exactly what I am going to try to answer, because this is not the first time this question has come up.
Direct Ajosi.
Ji, मैं उस पे. I'll just give your lordship one example, and I'll. Your lordship adorned the Sindh High Court.
Yes.
The Sindh High Court had original civil jurisdiction, ordinary, which has now been taken away. What is happening in all the cases which were pending in the Sindh High Court? The Sindh High Court no longer has jurisdiction, but it is passing an order. Nonetheless, it is passing orders to the effect that those cases now be sent to the relevant civil judge. So even if you don't have jurisdiction, and I'm not saying
this is the law says we are not transferring that as a High Court judges in Sindh High Court.
Exactly
the law
the
says
same.
that the cutoff date was given, and from that date all cases shall be transferred to the civil court. Likewise, under Article 191A, there is also a clause that all cases of constitutional nature stand transferred to the constitutional bench. तो यहाँ भी वही ट्रीटमेंट है जो आपने मिसाल दी है. You are right. Under the civil court ordinance वो आ गया होगा कि all cases should
मैं
be
ये कह रहा
transferred to
हूँ
that.
कि जब एक कोर्ट की जुरिस्डिक्शन ले भी ली जाती है तो वो कॉम्पिटेंट कोर्ट को रेफर करने की जुरिस्डिक्शन फिर भी रहती है. बट आई विल कम टू
उसमें क्या है ऑर्डिनेंस में, वरना फॉर्मल ऑर्डर की भी जरूरत नहीं है. वो तो रजिस्ट्रार कैन ट्रांसफर दी केसेस.
जी वो जो नहीं होते. और योर लॉर्डशिप विल रिकॉल लाहौर में भी यही हुआ था जब आरएफए की जुरिस्डिक्शन चेंज हुई थी. मेरे ख्याल में मेरे भी कुछ केसेस में आपने ऑर्डर पास किए थे कि जी वो नीचे भेज दें. सो ये हो सकता है, बट हियर इट्स नॉट अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ it's a different question.
Bhandari sir, we are sitting here as in constitutional bench, and we have been asked to decide one particular case, that is 26th Amendment. Do this bench has the power to constitute benches or convene a full bench? Is that a constitutional matter?
Absolutely. There is no. I have heard this is a question that has come up repeatedly, and I will answer it. But let me start with the basic point. What is the status of 191A when it comes? Will it be taken into consideration? The first thing is, I start off, and I'll refer to 5 Supreme Court judgments on this point. 191A is certainly on the statute book. There is no question on it. Is it constitutionally valid or not is another question which is before the court. Unless declared otherwise. But in those very proceedings in which the question of validity is at issue, the court will look not at those amendments but on the pre-existing constitutional order to decide the list. And as I said, there are 5 cases on this.
Then we cannot sit.
You can.
No.
Your Lordship,
because
every
the bench
time
has been constituted under Article 191A.
Every time a question of jurisdiction is raised, an objection is raised, it is the court itself which decides that.
Yes, you're right. In the previous precedents, it has been the court position. But this is a matter of first impression. You see, where the constitutional amendment has been made in such a fashion that there is a bifurcation of the Supreme Court jurisdiction in 2 branches. This is first time that has been done. Had it been a case of simple amendment in the Constitution, then you're right, then there was no issue to constitute that. But the Constitution bench which is hearing in this case is 191A. It is the birth of Constitution bench under Article 191A of the Constitution. And you are asking that bench to ignore 191A and move forward and constitute full court and whatever it may be. This is the difficulty. That is why we are asking so many days.
That's exactly what I want to address. I understand that
and
question.
In that eventuality, you will be, you will be given all the relief you've asked for in an interim through an interim order.
In fact,
by ignoring 191A, in case it's done.
No, my lord. With respect.
That means you are being granted the major relief.
No. 2 things. I'm not asking for final relief. What I'm saying is, and I second Mr. Khaja Ahmed Hussain on this, that let that question be decided by the full court. But if your lordship says that a full court can't be convened because Article 191A bars that, then your lordship is denying me final relief at this stage. Because then your lordship has determined that Article 191A is valid.
No, 191A is valid, despite that the provisions is there in which the constitutional amendment can be examined by the Constitution Bench.
But if your lordship
we are not saying anything at this stage that whatever the case on merits, we will decide this case, we will dismiss your petition, we will allow your petition. That is all subject to your lengthy arguments and legal acumen that will be seen at the time of merits.
Agreed.
We can strike down because this is our jurisdiction under the Constitution.
Yes, but
191A.
But if at this stage your lordship decides to reject my plea on the basis that there is 191A which creates a bar, then your lordship is accepting that 191A is valid and operative.
Person said that this is valid, it is on the statute book.
It is de facto. That's what I'm saying. Allow me to go to the case law. It is de facto valid. Its de jure validity is still subject to question. So your lordship will follow that.
It means we have no jurisdiction.
यही तो मैं आपसे पहले कह रहा हूँ. Then we should not hear this case.
मैं अगर मुझे आप इजाजत दें, as I said, I am a man of precedent. I am a common lawyer. Let's see how
you have no precedent on this matter of first impression.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
This is totally a unique situation in this country.
We do. We have cases where there were constitutional amendments which ousted the jurisdiction of the courts, and your lordship will have to see how the courts have dealt with that situation, and those principles will then have to be applied here.
Constitutional amendment depriving the jurisdiction of subordinate court or the high court, not the Supreme Court.
It is.
In Supreme Court.
It is the Supreme Court. Let me show you because those. Sir, मुझे करने दे.
नहीं मैं आपको तो आप करने दे. We are not stopping you.
नहीं सर मैं
अगर आप प्रेसिडेंट से पहले देखें जरा 191 के क्योंकि फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन के केस बार देखना पड़ेगा. इसके दो मेरे हिसाब से दो लिम्स हैं. एक तो 5 में सब आर्टिकल 5 में उन केसेस के बारे में है जो पेंडिंग है
स्टैंड ट्रांसफर
और नए फाइल हुए बिफोर 26th Amendment. 3 deals with new cases, fresh cases. अब fresh cases के क्या तरीक़ेकार होगा? Suppose आज ऑफिस में petition आ गई. ये ऑफिस की जिम्मेदारी नहीं कि वो कहे कि ये फलाना है. कौन उसको bifurcate करेगा? आयोग पहली कमेटी पहले देखेगी, फिर वो डिसाइड करेगी कि ये यहाँ आएगा या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच में जाएगा. ये इसमें सारे प्रोसेस को देखना होगा.
जी सर वो तो ठीक है, वो तो चीजें देखिए.
पर आप चलेंगे. नंबर 1, नंबर 2 ये आप इस तरीके से आ जाए. ये बताएं कि अगर ये कोर्ट ये जो बेंच है इसको जुरिस्डिक्शन है या नहीं है. अगर है तो इसके साथ क्या फुल कोर्ट को भी जुरिस्डिक्शन है? तो क्या दोनों की जुरिस्डिक्शन है या सिर्फ एक की है?
सर मेरा ख्याल में दोनों की है, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन जो आपके पास अभी फुल कोर्ट का है, दिस इज एज मच अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनैलिटी एज ऑफ प्रोप्राइटी. आपकी let's work on the assumption that this bench has jurisdiction. The question is whether the jurisdiction of the full court is ousted, and the answer is no. In my humble opinion, it's not. So let's work on the assumption, as I said, this question that whether this bench has jurisdiction or not cannot be decided unless the fate of Article 191A is determined. If 191A is unconstitutional, then your lordships don't have jurisdiction. If it is constitutional, then your lordships have jurisdiction. So the answer to this question is dependent on the validity of 191A itself. And if your lordship invoke 191A to bar my application, then your lordships are accepting that 191A is valid. Then what do I challenge? What happens to my challenge?
Bhandari Sahab, एक difference है Bhandari Sahab. It is only to the extent of the available forum within the Supreme Court to determine the validity of the 26th Amendment.
My lord, if 191A is valid for that purpose, then it is valid for all purposes.
It is just for the procedure.
No, my lord, it is not. It is
without commenting upon the validity of the 26th Amendment
my
at
lord,
this stage.
In my humble opinion, that's not possible, because you will say that 191A is there, it is valid, and it ousts the formation of a full court. Otherwise, you can't say that it is valid to that extent, but it is otherwise invalid. that bifurcation can't be logically made, in my humble opinion.
یہ تو پھر سسپینشن والی بات ہوگی.
نہیں سر, نہیں کیے بغیر. Sir, let me come to the case law. Let me show you. The first one is.
جب آپ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ دونوں کورٹس کی jurisdiction ہے تو آپ ڈائریکٹ اس پہ آ جائیں کہ وہاں کیوں بھجوایا جائے؟
سر میں تو اس لیے کہ یہ جو
ہوگے تو ہم بھجوائیں گے نا.
سر 191A کا جو میرے سامنے ایک کلوسس کھڑا ہوا ہے آبسٹیکل, میں اس کو ہٹاؤں گا تو آگے چلوں گا نا. میں فی الحال اس کو ہٹانے کی کوشش کر رہا ہوں کہ وہ آپ کے رستے میں بار نہیں ہے.
ہم یہ نہیں کہتے آپ اس کو ایک سائڈ پر, ہم کہتے ہیں اس کو بعد میں آرگو کریں, پہلے یہ آرگو کریں.
یہ انٹرلنکڈ ہے سر, اس کے بغیر ہو نہیں سکتے. The way I conceive the problem and the way I have conceived the questions, perceived the questions coming from the bench, your lordships feel and your ladyship's نے تو کچھ نہیں کہا اس پہ, سو میں lordships کہ your lordships feel that 191A is the bar. Allow me to make submission that that is not.
Ladies بات سمجھ چکی ہیں.
That is
more wiser than me.
وہ کہتے ہیں نا جی کہ if you want anything said, ask a man. If you want anything done, ask a woman. So I'm asking the woman.
I think she said it well.
That gives me a lot of heart, your ladyship. The first case is PLD 1963, Supreme Court 486, Fazlul Qadir Chaudhary versus Muhammad Abdul Haq.
Kya point hai? This has been cited at least 7 times.
It was, to my recollection, it was cited once by Mr. Shabbar Rizvi, and rightly so, but I will refer to some other passages than those. Now in this case what had happened, your lordship will recall, it's a famous judgment, that under the 1962 constitution, article 224, sub article 3 allowed the president to issue orders to remove difficulties in the operation of the constitution. Now in exercise of those powers, President Ayub Khan passed an order which did 2 things. Number 1, it amended various articles of the constitution, and number 2, it ousted the jurisdiction of all courts to question that order. So your lordship will first see page 498. 498, Chief Justice Cornelius sets out the President's order number 34 of 1962, gives its details. The details are not really relevant for us, but then it says, the 4th clause, the italics, ye jo inverted commas mein hai, the validity of any order made or purporting to have been made under the article shall not be called in question. So this was a direct ouster of jurisdiction. So that it was a case of constitutional amendments which ousted the jurisdiction of the court. And this becomes clear, your lordship may, and your ladyship may turn to page 505. یہ اس زمانے میں یہ بڑا پرابلم تھا کہ ججمنٹ کے پیراگراف نمبرز نہیں ہوتے تھے, یہ تو بعد میں آئے. So it is unnumbered, but the second paragraph, and I read from the middle. What has been done here is to modify the constitution and thus to effect a change in the constitution itself. Sir, have you found it? The middle of the... So it was a question of a constitution, a change in the constitution. So this was the effect. This was what had been done. Now, before I come back to this, just briefly turn to page 521. This is where I would like to start. And for me, this is the critical question, which goes to the heart of the status of Article 191 in this matter. Page 521, from the bottom. This is from Justice Fazle Akbar's opinion. It is also worthy to mention that the power to interpret the Constitution has been given to superior courts for safeguarding and upholding the Constitution. Really, this power does not give to the court any practical or real omnipotence, but to see if the legislature has carried out the mandate of the Constitution. Now, in such cases, the judges ask not merely whether the law is on the statute book, but whether it has a right to be there. That's the question. It is, Article 191A is on the statute book, no doubt. It is operating. Your lordships have decided cases under it. The question is whether it has the right to be there. And while determining that question, Article 191A will not be considered.
Final determination of
Ji?
That relates to final determination by this.
But while making that determination, you can't rely on 191A. I'll give you an example, sir. I'll give you an example. I come back to this.
Come back to your case and stick to this, please. Yes, so that we get your 6 judgments done. Please tell us what we are reading in this.
Ji. Ji?
Further questions?
Ji. Theek. Bilkul theek. Then please turn to page 506. 506.
521 से वापस
506. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10th line from the top. From these circumstances, it is clear that the conclusion cannot be escaped that the President's order is of a sub-constitutional nature, and bearing in mind that he as well as the courts are under oath to preserve, protect and defend the Constitution, the duty of the court is plainly to place the provisions of the order strictly against the enabling provision in Article 224(3), and if upon such comparison the court is satisfied that the provisions of the order do not fall within the ambit of the power given by Article 224(3), the court has no alternative but to declare to that effect and thus to invalidate the amendment. So the order is being judged against the pre-existing constitutional order. Then I leave out the rest, and then the first sentence of the last paragraph. For examination of the question under Articles 103 and 104 is somewhat, the examination of the question under Articles 103 and 104 is somewhat simpler. For the present, I shall assume that these articles have not been amended. So while determining whether those articles have been validly amended,
that is not constitutional amendment or...
No, it was, because, my lord, that provision allowed for amendment in the Constitution. It was an amendment in the Constitution, no doubt, by invoking a provision which was there in the Constitution itself.
506 पे
नहीं आप ये पीछे देखिए ना, ये जो मैंने आपको 505 पे पढ़ाया है, कॉर्नेलियस साहब ने खुद फरमाया है, what has been done here is to modify the Constitution and thus to effect a change in the Constitution itself.
भंडारी साहब उसमें फोरम तो चेंज नहीं किया था ना, वैलिडिटी को कॉल इन क्वेश्चन करने के लिए आउस्टर क्लॉज रख दी थी
जी,
लेकिन फोरम तो नहीं दिया था
सर, उधर
तो फोरम सेपरेट कर दिया।
नहीं सर, वहां तो उन्होंने हर फोरम ही आउस्ट कर दिया था। ये वो कंप्लीट आउस्टर ऑफ जुरिस्डिक्शन था। मैं उस पे आता हूं।
कंप्लीट आउस्टर था कि उसकी वैलिडिटी को कोई छेड़ नहीं सकता, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं कर सकता।
दैट वाज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चेंज।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट की हैयत तो नहीं बदली थी
सर, उससे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता। उन्होंने तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट खत्म कर दिया था। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर यहाँ पे हो आर्टिकल 184(3) को अमेंड कर दें कि all petitions under Article 184(3) of the Constitution shall be heard and decided by the Federal Cabinet and not the Supreme Court. Can that provision be challenged under 184(3) before this court? Of course it can be.
वो प्रेसिडेंट ऑर्डर से अमेंडमेंट हुई थी, उसको उन्होंने कहा कि प्रेसिडेंट ऑर्डर इज सब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल फोर्स।
सर,
आपके यहाँ ये प्रेसिडेंट ऑर्डर से अमेंडमेंट हुई है? 26 अमेंडमेंट
यही जो प्रोविजन थी और भी ले लीजिए। देखिए ना, हमेशा हमने जजमेंट्स में भी और लिखा है कोर्ट डज नॉट मीन दी हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट। जहां उनकी जुरिस्डिक्शन आउट करनी तो स्पेसिफिक कहना पड़ता है एवरी कोर्ट।
सर मैं आ रहा हूं, मैं अभी देखिए, दिस इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट। ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट सब ये बाद में फर्दर एक्सेप्ट हुए हैं और डेवलप हुए हैं। ये अभी मैं आपको लेके जाता हूं नुसरत भुट्टो केस में, जहां सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट का लिखा हुआ था कि कोई जुरिस्डिक्शन नहीं है।
आप थोड़ा सा एक क्वेश्चन और पढ़ लेंगे प्लीज। 506 पे आप पढ़ रहे थे ना?
जी,
इसका थर्ड पैराग्राफ, ये जो कोटेशन के बाद है।
जी,
दिस इज द रेशियो टू डिसाइड अपॉन द क्वेश्चन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यू।
जी, in relation to an act of a statutory authority, how high soever, is a duty devolving ordinarily upon the superior courts by virtue of their office, and in the absence of any bar, either express or implied, which stands in the way of that duty being performed in respect of the order here in question, it is responsibility which cannot be avoided. Yes. So,
in absence of any bar or either express or implied.
अभी मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ कि उन्होंने इधर जो बार था थ्रू अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चेंज, उसके साथ क्या किया था, मैं दिखा देता हूँ आपको। सर, देन वी प्रोसीड सर। Then kindly turn to page 524.
एक चीज ध्यान में रखें, देखिए उस वक्त ये प्रेसिडेंशियल ऑर्डर था, whether it was simple presidential order or it was under the martial law.
No, it was under the Constitution. it was a
देखिए उस वक्त गवर्नमेंट थी या माशाल्लाह
1962 का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के नीचे था. 1962 का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आ चुका था, उसमें आर्टिकल 224 था which said के president in order to remove any difficulty in the operation of the constitution can amend the constitution.
अच्छा वो उसमें
जी जी. So it was under the constitution.
So it was not a simple presidential order.
It was not.
It was an order while exercising constitutional power.
Yes, which allowed for amendment in of the constitution. So it doesn't matter how a constitution.
उन्होंने इनकी ये इख्तियार नहीं लिया कि you can't amend, but you can amend.
जी जी.
उसमें amend करें should not take away the jurisdiction of the court.
उन्होंने कहा जी जो आउस्टर क्लॉज है उसको हम इग्नोर करेंगे और हम आपके ऑर्डर को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के टच स्टोन पे देखेंगे एंड दे स्ट्रक इट डाउन. दैट्स माय प्रिंसिपल. द प्रिंसिपल इज
वो जो इसके इख्तियार थे प्रेसिडेंट के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट करने का वो नहीं लिए गए.
नहीं वो नहीं लिया गया.
जैसे पार्लियामेंट के इख्तियार है अमेंडमेंट का वो रहेंगे. जी जी. लेकिन हम क्या देख रहे हैं, हम करें कि ये जो अमेंडमेंट है ये आईनी है या गैर आईनी है.
मैं एग्जैक्टली और मैं इससे जो प्रिंसिपल निकल रहा है
ये मिनिस्टर्स को सर्विस ऑफ पाकिस्तान की डेफिनेशन से निकाल दिया था इसके अंदर.
जी जी.
उसको चैलेंज किया गया कि मिनिस्टर्स जो थे व्हाई दे वर एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम द
सर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंड करके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अमेंड करके
उन्होंने वो जो लिखा उसके अंदर एक राइटर था ना कि दिस अमेंडमेंट शैल नॉट बी कॉल्ड इन एनी कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ.
जी.
So that was the question before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
The Supreme Court jurisdiction was intact. You see, and not bifurcated in two divisions.
नहीं सर बाइफरकेशन की बात नहीं है सर. बाइफरकेशन
सुप्रीम कोर्ट देख ही सकता था ना, तो कोई इशू ही नहीं है.
बाइफरकेशन जो बाइफरकेशन है ख्वाजा अहमद हुसैन इज राइट कि दैट बाइफरकेशन बट full court is always there, so maybe there's a trifurcation. With all due respect, this bifurcation issue is a red herring. There was always bifurcation. Your lordships have always worked in benches. Once a bench is seized of the matter, the jurisdiction of all other benches was always excluded. ये आपने बार बार होल्ड किया हुआ. पार्ट हर्ड मैटर है वो वही बेंच सुन सकता है unless कोई एक्सेप्शनल चीज हो.
These are the different exigencies ना. पार्ट हर्ड का तो ठीक है, पार्ट हर्ड है तो
मैं बात और कर रहा हूँ सर कि ये बेंचेस का कॉन्सेप्ट कोई नया तो नहीं है, ये तो हमेशा से है. और मैं अभी आपको हिस्टोरिकली भी लेके जाऊंगा कि ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935 से आया है. उसके बाद तो कभी हमारी किसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में बेंचेस का जिक्र ही नहीं आया.
इसको मैं इस तरह समझूं, हम जरा हाई कोर्ट से ट्रायल कोर्ट्स पे चले जाते हैं. सेशन कोर्ट्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट इज द प्रिंसिपल सिविल कोर्ट. जब लोड बढ़ा तो एडिशनल सेशन जजेस आए, उनको पावर्स दिए गए. डज इट मीन दैट गिविंग पावर टू द एडिशनल सेशन जज लूज इट्स पावर? नो.
वो तो सर उनके नहीं
यानी वो लूज नहीं करता, इजाफी दिया गया.
इजाफी है,
बाकियों को भी दिया गया.
सर ये एक स्पेशल बेंच बना दिया गया. बेंचेस तो हमेशा से थे और वो भी ऐसे ही थे कि एक बेंच के पास मामला आ गया, उसने सुनना शुरू कर दिया, बाकी बेंचेस की जुरिस्डिक्शन एक्सक्लूड हो गई. ये जो एक्सक्लूजन है एक नई फॉर्म में आ गई थ्रू अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट आ गई. आई एम कॉन्शियस ऑफ दैट.
आप खुद ही कह रहे हैं कि जुरिस्डिक्शन एक्सक्लूड हो गई, तो हाउ वी कैन ऐड द जुरिस्डिक्शन?
नहीं मैं सर पहले आप ये देखेंगे, पहले आप ये देखेंगे कि ऐसे सिमिलर मामलात में जो मैं बार बार कह रहा हूं कि ये कॉमन लॉ अप्रोच है. कॉमन लॉ अप्रोच क्या है कि आप पिछले प्रेसिडेंट्स देखें, उनमें क्या हुआ, उससे क्या प्रिंसिपल निकलते हैं. फिर आपने देखना है कि क्या वो प्रिंसिपल इस पोजीशन, इस फैक्ट सिचुएशन पे लग सकते हैं कि नहीं. और मेरी सबमिशन है कि जी आप वो जब मैं प्रिंसिपल्स आपको दिखाऊंगा तो वो स्क्वायरली एप्लीकेबल है. ये मेरी सबमिशन है.
अब इस 3 पहले अगर पढ़ेंगे ना आप 62 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, बहुत स्पेसिफिक है.
सर मैं अभी सब पे आ रहा हूँ. देखिए लॉ डेवलप करता है ना, यहाँ से डेवलप होना शुरू हुआ, ये डेवलपमेंट खत्म होती है सिंध हाईकोर्ट बार के केस में. मैं आपको सारा लेके जाऊंगा, तो जो आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं वो आंसर हो जाएंगे. इस पे अगर मैं आप पेज 524 पे आ जाए सर.
पहले जो था रूल्स के तहत बेंचेस बने. ठीक 2 बेंचेस, 5 बेंचेस, 10 बेंचेस, जितने भी आज भी बैठे हुए हम कोर्ट में. पहले हर बेंच को इख्तियार था कि 184 के केसेस चला सके. फिर प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रोसीजर में पाबंदी लग गई. क्या एक पाबंदी लगी कि शुड बी मिनिमम तादाद उसकी 5 करनी, शुड नॉट बी लेस देन 5. लेकिन फिर भी अगर 5 के 4 बेंचेस बैठे हैं तो सुन सकते हैं, 3 बैठे हैं तो सुन सकते हैं. अब इसमें कर दिया कि नहीं सारे बेंचेस नहीं सुन सकते, मखसूस कर दिया कि वो बेंचेस सुन सकते हैं जो
बिल्कुल ठीक
आउटकम हो उसकी 191 के मुताबिक. तो یہ اصل چیز دیکھنا کہ کیا یہ تمام ججز کولیکٹیو اگر بیٹھے ہیں فل کورٹ بنا کے تو کیا ان کی جوریسڈکشن ختم ہوئی یا بینچز کی ضرورت؟
نہیں سر دیکھیں جو سوال ہے وہ یہی ہے کہ فل کورٹ کی جوریسڈکشن تو ہمیشہ سے تھی اور ہے. سوال یہ ہے کہ کیا 191A اگر آپ اس کو کنسیڈریشن میں لیتے ہیں, میری سبمیشن میں تو نہیں لینا چاہیے بٹ اگر آپ لیتے ہیں تو کیا 191A فل کورٹ کی کو آؤسٹ کرتی ہے؟ ڈز اٹ آپریٹ ایز این آؤسٹر کلوز؟ اینڈ مائی سبمیشن از اٹ ڈزنٹ. بٹ ابھی میں دیٹس اے سیکنڈ پوائنٹ میں آتا ہوں.
اگر آپ کے بقول اگر اس کو آؤسٹر کرتے تو پھر آپ کہتے تھے اس کو سائڈ پہ رکھ لیں, ادروائز آپ تو اس پہ بات کر رہے ہیں کہ ان کی جوریسڈکشن ہے.
سر میں تو بڑا سمپل کہہ رہا ہوں, میں تو یہ سمپل کہہ رہا ہوں, اور I think I just borrow what my Lord Justice Aminuddin said yesterday. Your Lordship, if I heard you correctly and I recall correctly, said کہ اگر یہ 191A نہ ہو تو پھر تو شاید کوئی اتنا ایشو ہی نہیں ہے. This is a matter that should be placed before the full court.
But 191A cannot ouster jurisdiction. It is an exercise of jurisdiction. I think we are focusing on it as if to say 191A is depriving or ousting jurisdiction of the rest of the Supreme Court. 191A simply says that a constitutional bench will exercise the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. So
Yes.
the jurisdiction vests in the Supreme Court. It doesn't vest in any particular bench, just in the Supreme Court. And that jurisdiction is exercised by a constitutional bench. So there is no ouster of jurisdiction. If you're going to oust jurisdiction, it's the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
Yes,
not of
agreed.
any...
That's exactly that's my second submission. That's my second submission, that even if you take into account abhi to main keh raha hu ki you could not take Article 191A into account, but even if you do, I bow to that.
Then the only issue left is either the bench is exercising its jurisdiction under 191A and can it pass a judicial order to that extent, or else, like you say, the full court exists and it merely says that let the full court exercise its jurisdiction. But there is no ouster of jurisdiction.
For that matter, you have to read both Article 184 and Article 191. آپ اس میں فرق بتائیں نا.
Starting with 176, what is the Supreme Court? It is actually very interesting. I was reading somewhere that a former Chief Justice of the US Supreme Court...
اب ڈیویٹ ہو رہے ہیں.
میں
اپنے کیس لا پہ تو
میں اب یہ شروع کر دیا تو میں بتا دیتا ہوں. It's very relevant. Actually, it's very relevant. Earl Warren, actually speaking extrajudicially, was asked a question as to why the US Supreme Court doesn't sit in benches. Why does it sit on bank? Every case is heard by all 9 judges. And he was asked, why is that so? And his response was, it's not in any judgment, it's in the speech that he gave. His response was, because Article 3 of the US Supreme Court, US Constitution says, there shall be a Supreme Court. He says, because there shall be a Supreme Court, it has to sit as a Supreme Court in all cases. We can't sit in benches. Apply that to Article 176 and the same principle applies. So the principle is that the jurisdiction is always of the Supreme Court.
I've said that benches are not defined in the Constitution.
It is not.
It is a creation of rules.
Rules, yes. So the jurisdiction is always of the court, Supreme Court. The constitution of benches is a matter of administrative organization and administrative convenience. And even there, when the rules were made, starting with the Federal Court rules of 1950, those rules were framed by the full court, which empowered the Chief Justice to constitute benches. So that was a delegation of power by the full court to the Chief Justice.
The full court has delegated powers, the Supreme Court has delegated powers to the benches.
To the Chief Justice under the rules. Under the rules. So the Supreme Court always has the power. Any bench always has the power, because every bench, every single judge, each one of you exercises the full power of the entire Supreme Court. Every judge is the Supreme Court.
Is there any difference between having power or exercising power?
Of course there is. Having power is judicial power.
Read Article 184.
84, I'll read. This is what the concept of judicial power is. The judicial power vests in the institution. It can never be taken away. Exercise of power is a question of jurisdiction. ابھی سر آپ نے پھر مجھے پڑھنے نہیں دیا وہ پھر I will come back to this.
بعد میں پیش کیجئے، پہلے سبجیکٹو لا پڑھنے سے بات کیجئے.
سر میں بالکل बट वो मैं पढ़ूंगा जरूर सर.
बिल्कुल हम सुनेंगे.
मैन ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस है.
184(3). Without prejudice to the provisions of Article 199, the Supreme Court shall, if it considers that a question of public importance.
One से पढ़े.
जी अच्छा पूरा पढ़ लें. Sorry. I thought आप 184(3) कह रहे हैं. 184. The Supreme Court shall, to the exclusion of every other court, have original jurisdiction in any dispute between two or more governments. Explanation: in this clause, governments.
अब 191 पढ़े.
जी. अब 193.
1913 पढ़े.
नहीं ये तो नहीं लिया ना, ये तो अभी भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेंच में नहीं है.
आप पढ़ लें.
क्या जी? 191A.
191A3.
A3. No bench of the Supreme Court, other than a constitutional bench, shall exercise the following jurisdictions vested in the Supreme Court, namely.
इन दोनों का क्या मतलब?
जी.
इन दोनों का क्या मतलब है? 184(1) और 191A3.
सर आई थिंक बिल्कुल क्लियर है कि जो 184 की jurisdiction है, that's in the Supreme Court as a whole, as an institution. If a bench of that court.
फिर आप 191A3 में आए ना, it
जी.
says that the constitutional bench shall exercise this jurisdiction. और
Vested in the Supreme Court.
कौन सी jurisdiction
Yes.
वो exercise.
Yes. So if a bench has to exercise it.
Vested it. Jurisdiction is with the court.
Jurisdiction,
Always
absolutely.
With the court is
अब
never with the bench.
184(1) में जो आपने कहा, the Supreme Court has jurisdiction. So, is there anything in 190?
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जुरिस्डिक्शन को यहाँ कौन डिनाई कर रहा है? कौन कह रहा है कि ये हाई कोर्ट सुनेगा? ये
नहीं सर,
कोर्ट ही सुन रहा है.
नहीं ये बात नहीं
अगर
है.
आगे जाके सुप्रीम कोर्ट को उन्होंने कह दिया ना कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेंच सुनेगी.
सर ये नहीं कहा, मेरी रिस्पेक्टफुल सबमिशन में ये नहीं कहा कि सुप्रीम.
Not asking you, nor we are saying that jurisdiction of the Supreme Court has been curtailed. The
Yes, sir.
Supreme Court is there.
Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court is here.
No sir, the question is whether what they've said in clause 3.
If you ignore sub-article 3, where it is clearly mentioned that no bench of the Supreme Court other than a constitutional bench, will it not have any effect?
Lord,
Can we ignore it immediately?
My lord, in the present proceedings, the answer is yes. The present proceedings, your lordship will ignore it, as I will show as I come back to the case law, as I will. But even
there is no, I don't think so. Why there is a distinction between the Supreme Court and constitutional bench? The Supreme Court, the constitutional bench judges are also the Supreme Court.
Nobody is denying that.
No bench of the Supreme Court other than constitutional bench. अब इसके interpretation में जब आप जाएंगे तो आप कहते हैं कि नहीं इसको ignore करके हम full court का order करें तो ये फिर इसकी violation नहीं है.
सर मैं नहीं ये दो फर्क चीजें हैं सर. अभी मैं interpretation पे नहीं आया. अभी तो मैं पहली बात कर रहा हूँ कि
for last many days this is the interpretation that the Supreme Court and bench, we are the Supreme Court. We are not denying this fact that we are not the Supreme Court.
Sir, nobody is denying. I think ये तो किसी ने भी नहीं dispute किया. Nobody is disputing that this bench is not part of the Supreme Court.
Why the petitioners are not trusting this bench?
It is not a question of trust, sir. I haven't heard any petitioner say, any counsel say that there is no trust in this bench. Everybody has full trust.
Start arguing on merits?
No, sir.
Let us decide about the validity of the 26th Amendment.
As I said, this is the question of propriety. I'll tell you. And please, the statement that I am about to make is not against any individual. Your lordships and your ladyships know me too well. But what is in order to answer that, one of the problems which we've raised, one of the grievances that we've raised in the main case is that there is no mechanism in the Constitution for the Judicial Commission to decide how to pick and choose judges of the Constitutional Bench.
It pertains to the merits of the
नहीं मैं इसीलिए आ रहा हूँ, मैं इस पे आ रहा हूँ. मैं जो propriety की बात कर रहा हूँ, propriety का issue क्या है? So, in exercise of that completely unstructured power, the Judicial Commission has. So, my lord, in exercise of that completely unstructured power, the Judicial Commission has chosen judges of the constitution benches from time to time. And it has decided not to choose certain judges of the Supreme Court. Now, those who have been chosen are extremely respectful. But those who have not been chosen are equally respectful and worthy of respect. So the question is, if the question of whether that process is constitutionally valid or not is to be decided by those who have been chosen, then fairness demands that those who have not been chosen should also be a part of that decision. So as I said, this is not merely a question of constitutionality or legality, it's also a question of fairness and propriety.
ایک سوال ہے کہ if this provision 191A3 is to be read to say that only those judges who've been nominated by the Judicial Commission become the constitutional bench and only they can hear it, so then the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court has been, the exercise of that jurisdiction then lies in the hands of the Judicial Commission, because it will be up to them, nominate kare, na kare, and as I gave an example last time, if they choose not to nominate anyone, and there is no constitutional bench, can the Supreme Court entertain a petition under 184(3) to say that there should be, these questions have to be entertained, this issue is urgent? Can the Supreme Court do it, or will the Supreme Court at that time say no, because there is no constitutional bench, therefore this question cannot be entertained, or even B or C, so that constitutional work will stop? Or will the Supreme Court be able to entertain the idea?
It will be able to entertain. I just gave a more extreme example in response to what my just...
Doesn't that entertainment become an exercise of jurisdiction?
Absolutely.
The other problem is that if we today say, and we find that we cannot constitute or convene a full court, does that mean that for all times to come there will never be a full court or a larger bench? It will depend totally again on the number of judges that the Judicial Commission says will be judges of the Constitutional Court. So we will never be able to say that we need 18, 19, 20. So the whole mechanism goes back to 191A. So the exercise of jurisdiction, does that mean that then that exercise of jurisdiction, instead of being one to protect and be a guardian of the rights under the and duties in the Constitution, is now vested with a institution or a body that will decide who gets nominated or not?
I fully agree with that. I bow to these observations. That's why I'm saying the full court has to be there.
Full court is always there.
Always there, and has to have jurisdiction, notwithstanding anything. That is why I gave an example. Supposing 184(3) is...
As far as benches are concerned, whether every bench exercise jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
If 191A...
آپ ایک سائڈ پر رکھ لیں 191 کے اس سے پہلے چلتے ہیں. اس سے پہلے کیا ہر بینچ کے پاس یہ اختیار تھا سپریم کورٹ کا جو سپریم کورٹ کا اختیار ہے ہر بینچ کے پاس ہوتا تھا؟
ہر بینچ کے پاس ہوتا.
اب رولز پڑھے
سر جس کو چیف جسٹس نومینیٹ کریں گے.
سن لیں یہ رول آرڈر 11 ہے جس میں کہا کہ save as otherwise provided by law or by these rules every cause, appeal or matter shall be heard and disposed of by a bench consisting of not less than 3. It means 2-member bench cannot hear.
جی ٹھیک ہے.
تو رول میں یہ بتائے یہ بائفرکیشن تو ہو سکتی ہے. کسی بینچ کو آپ اوسٹ کر سکتے ہیں, کسی بینچ کو آپ پاور دے سکتے ہیں کہ ایکسرسائز کریں.
بالکل ٹھیک.
بٹ دس آسٹر یہاں پہ بحث یہی ہو رہی ہے, میں اپنی بات تو نہیں کر رہا ہوں, جو بات ہو رہی ہے کہ یہ آسٹر فل کورٹ کے لیے نہیں ہو سکتی.
نہیں ہو سکتی.
بینچ کے لیے تو ہو سکتی ہے. جیسے آگے کہا کہ 2-member بینچ وہ کیسز سنیں گے جو سنگل بینچ کرے گا ہائی کورٹ میں.
جی جی
2-member bench cannot hear a petition appeal.
انفیکٹ میں نے تو یہی عرض کی کہ یہ جو 191A ہے یہ بینچز
benches کا jurisdiction of Supreme Court, full jurisdiction of Supreme Court has not been assigned to 2-member bench. وہ petition decide نہیں کر سکتے.
جی
تو بٹ یہ سب اینٹیٹی ہے سپریم کورٹ کی. benches are sub entities.
ایبسلیوٹلی. میں نے تو
کسی کو اختیار دیا کسی کو نہیں.
سر میں نے تو اسی لیے پہلے بھی عرض کی کہ یہ بینچز کا کانسیپٹ کوئی نیا تو ہے نہیں. 191A ایک نئی فارم میں ایک بینچز کا کانسیپٹ آیا جیسے شریعت ایپلیٹ بینچ کا آیا. ادروائز رولز میں تو ہمیشہ سے رہا.
رول میں تھا کانسٹیٹیوشن میں کریں.
جی اور رولز میں بھی جو تھا وہ بھی یہی تھا کہ جی جب ایک بینچ کے پاس کیس آ گیا تو پھر وہ کیس اس بینچ کا ہے, کسی اور بینچ کے پاس نہیں جا سکتا, چیف جسٹس بھی ٹرانسفر نہیں کر سکتا. یہی جو جورسپروڈنس ہے, یہی پریکٹس.
میں نے جو اپنے ججمنٹ ریفر کی اس میں نے یہ بات کی اٹ کین ناٹ بی ٹرانسفر.
میں وہ ججمنٹ پڑھ کے یہ بات جی آپ کے میں یہی سے شروع کروں گا. جی اب should I continue? جی نہیں آپ مجھے اجازت دے دیجیے گا. جی
Mr. Zair Karamat Bhandari has started his arguments on